guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought it would be fun to film a little travel tip video. So in a few days, my boyfriend and I will be going to Poland, which is where his family's from, and we're so excited. This is my third time going to visit Poland, so I'm really excited because I feel like I can now go back to some of my favorite places, but I've also done a lot of research and found so many more new places that I'm really excited to check out. So I just thought it would be fun to film this video. I always find it really helpful to watch videos like these and kind of see how other people plan their trip. I guess we'll start off with the first thing that you do when you're booking a trip, which is obviously buy your flight. What we usually do is some extensive research. I would say usually when we're prepping for a vacation, we have a general idea of the set dates that we want to go, but we don't limit it to those exact dates if possible, because if you change your flight 1 or 2 days beforehand or after, it can definitely change the price of the flight. So I would definitely recommend being flexible in that sense. That happened to us this trip. We were supposed to go a certain day, and then we saw that the flight was significantly cheaper if we went a few days earlier, so that's what we did. Usually I go on Skyscanner or Kayak first and just scope out the different airlines that are flying to the destination that we're going to, and then I'll see if there's a flight that we're interested in that looks like the timing's good and the dates are good. Then usually we'll go directly to the airline site and book directly through them, just because sometimes when you book through Skyscanner, if there's any issues or changes to the flight, and you're booking through a third-party website, sometimes there can be issues. I will say most of the time it does end up just fine, but one time we did have an issue, and ever since that happened, we kind of just have been booking directly through the airline. So it really just is your preference. And sometimes it can be a little bit more expensive if you're booking directly through the airline, but I think overall it definitely feels a little bit more secure, and you know that you can always contact the airline customer service. So that's what we've been doing, and that's what we did this trip. And that's pretty much all about airlines. It's kind of self-explanatory. Just find the flight that you want, book it. And also another thing that we also like to do is pay attention to where the connecting flight is. This can be a little bit tricky, and sometimes you just don't really have a choice. Mostly, especially if you're going to Poland like we are, it's going to be a connecting flight. So if we know that we have a long layover on the connecting flight, then we will try and find a place that we know is a smaller city and that we can go and leave the airport and explore. So I know that Copenhagen, the airport is really close to the actual city. So you can definitely just leave the airport if you have 4 or 5 hours, go explore the city for 2 hours, and then go back to the airport if you don't have a lot of bags and stuff. This trip, we do not have that much time, so I don't think we're going to be doing that, but that's just a good tip to look out for. You can also pick a flight that has a really long connection. I know some are 10 hours. So if you find a connection flight that's 10 hours and it's in the middle of the day, you can have a full day to explore the city. Obviously, you're going to be exhausted. And also leave your baggage in the airport. I know there's a lot of places to lock it up, and a really good opportunity to explore a new city, even if it's just for a few hours. Okay, the next thing I do when planning a trip is figure out where we're gonna be staying. And this definitely varies depending on where we're going, how long we're going, and who we're going with. So for this specific trip, it's just me and my boyfriend. Majority of the time, we're gonna be staying at his parents' house in Poland, but the first night, we're gonna be staying in a hotel in Warsaw. So in the past, we've stayed in Airbnbs in Warsaw. I love both options, honestly. It really just depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. If we were staying there for a few days, I would say we would probably end up doing Airbnb, just because I like to have more space than just a room, a kitchen, more privacy. And if we were traveling with more people, we would probably stay in an Airbnb as well, just because it's definitely more affordable when you have more people. And also it's more fun to be with the people that you're traveling with instead of just having your own hotel room. So that's what we usually do if we are traveling with more than just us. But for this trip, since it's only one night in the beginning of our trip that we're staying at a hotel, we just decided to go the hotel route because we know we're going to be exhausted from all of the traveling, and we're just going to want a nice hotel. In terms of finding hotels, what I usually do is just a quick Google search, best hotels in whatever city I'm going to, and then from there I'll look up each one, or look at reviews and pictures and stuff like that. I also sometimes prefer to stay in smaller boutique hotels that are only in those specific cities. I feel like it's just more of a interesting, different experience than staying at a well-known branch hotel or something like that. So once we decide where we're staying and the area that we're staying in is when I do the fun research. The first thing I always look up is coffee places near wherever we're staying, because I know that's the first thing I'm gonna wanna do when we get there. And what I'll do is I'll type in the address of the hotel or the Airbnb that we're staying in the city, and I'll pull it up on my Apple Maps, and then I'll type in coffee shops in little search bar, and then I'll still have like the little pin of where our hotel or Airbnb is, and then I'll look for ones around there, and I'll open them up and see which ones catch my eye. And then if I like it, I will drop a pin at that location, or I'll write down the name of the coffee shop on my list for like coffee near hotel. So I have multiple different ways of writing down the places that I want to check out. The first thing that I do is open a notes on my phone, and I just have like a running list. So like I'll put coffee near hotel, and then if I find another coffee place that might be further out and I want to check it out, I'll write that down on the list or drop a pin on my map, and maybe it's close to like a shopping area or something. And not necessarily that we're going to go out of our way to go to a coffee place, but you never know if it's going to be in the general area of something that you're already doing. So I just like to have a list of things so that I know shopping one day and I don't have Wi-Fi or service, then I already know I have a list, or I can ask someone where this specific coffee place is. Then I kind of have a similar technique on how I do restaurants. Pretty much I start off with going on the map on my phone, and I will just go to the general location of the city that we're staying in, and I will type in something that I'm interested in. So I'm vegan, so I'll just type in vegan restaurants, or if I know that we want like a Mexican restaurant or pierogies because we're going to Poland, then I'll type that into the map, and then I'll just see whatever pops up and I'll look at all those places. One thing that's sometimes difficult when you're looking at like European cities is Yelp is not used a lot there. It is sometimes, but most of the time it's going to be like TripAdvisor or something like that, which is which I have to download on my phone actually, because I've been meaning to do that. So you can just look up TripAdvisor is just like Yelp. It has pictures, it has reviews, it has menus and stuff like that. So what I'll do is go on my map and I'll type in vegan restaurants, and then a bunch of them are going to pop up, and I will drop pins on the ones that I want to stay at, and then I'll zoom in and I will literally like walk around virtually on the map on my phone, and I'll just zoom in on the general area of the restaurant that caught my eye, and then I'll see what's around there. Sometimes there's going to be shopping, maybe there's like a museum we want to go to in that area. So I definitely spend a lot of time looking at the map on my phone when I'm planning for trips. That's like my best friend. I said when I go on TripAdvisor, I will go and I'll look at the menu and I'll see, you know, if they're open for like brunch or dinner. I'll look at the menu and I'll write down if I want to go there specifically for brunch or dinner or whatever I want to go to that restaurant for. And I like to do this and be extra prepared, just because I know that when I go on vacation, I'm usually so tired, and the last thing I want to do is sit there for 20 minutes wasting time looking up restaurants and menus. And when you're vegan, especially in a foreign place, sometimes it's really difficult to find options, and I also am a big foodie, so I want to make sure that I'm going to all the like amazing fun restaurants, because I know that most cities have so many cool restaurants and I just like to check them all out. So I definitely like to plan ahead, and that's just my way of doing things. So I always look up the menu. Sometimes I'll even take a screenshot, drop pins on the map of the restaurants, and you can sometimes put little notes on the pin, or I'll like rename the pin and be like, oh, vegan breakfast day 1, or like you could even plan it out like that. So I love doing that for restaurants. And then aside from just looking things up on maps, obviously I'll do a quick Google search, best vegan restaurants in Warsaw, best authentic Polish restaurants in Warsaw, stuff like that, and I'll compile a list, and then I will reference the list and look things up on Yelp or TripAdvisor. And then another way that I like to look up restaurants is through Instagram. So I do this for restaurants, and I also do it for like things to do. You can also do it for hotels and places to stay, but I will go on Instagram and I'll search the hashtag Warsaw vegan or Warsaw restaurants, and I will look through the like explore page of the hashtag and see if anything looks good to me, see if there's any cool food pictures, and if there is, I'll go to the page, and then from there I'll Google the restaurant or look it up on TripAdvisor. And that is my favorite way to find restaurants. What I did this time, actually a few days ago, I was doing this. So this trip we're gonna be staying at Nobu Warsaw, and I'm so excited because I think they opened like a year ago. So that was not there when we went last time. And I've never stayed in a Nobu hotel before. So we were really excited to do that, but I was a little bit nervous because obviously I'm vegan and sushi options are sometimes slim, other than avocado rolls and veggie rolls. I was looking up the hashtag of Nobu Warsaw, and then I came across this picture of the most gorgeous plate, I will insert a picture of it, of vegan sushi. And I was so excited. So I saw who posted it, and I went to their profile, and it turns out he is one of the vegan sushi chefs at Nobu Warsaw, and I did not know that they had a vegan chef. So first of all, that just got me so excited. So I actually DM'd him from my vegan food Instagram and asked him if he's always there making vegan sushi at the Nobu restaurant, and he said yes, and told me that all you have to do is ask for vegan sushi when you get there, and you can get what was in the picture. So I'm already so excited about that. And it also eases the nerves a little bit because I know that there's gonna be options for me at that hotel. Instagram is definitely a really great way to look up things because you can get like real-time updates. So another thing that I do will look up the hashtag Warsaw or Warsaw vacation, and I'll just scroll through all of the pictures. Usually what I do is I'll go over to like the recents instead of like the top, because I want to see like what's happening now, and I'll look at people's pictures. If a picture looks really cool and they're at this like really cool museum, like I know Warsaw has a neon museum, like a neon sign museum, which we went to once. So if say we didn't go last time we went and I saw a picture of that, obviously I'd be interested in, and I'll just save it. While I'm scrolling the hashtags and I see a picture that I like, I'll use the little Instagram feature and I'll save it, and I will save it to like a new collection, and I'll just title it. I'll have different ones for each one, but let me just look at what I have. I have one for restaurants in Warsaw, and I have one for things to do in Warsaw, and then I have another one for grocery items. And this is another tip, and I know I'm a little bit crazy, but I just get so excited about new vegan things and going to different countries and trying out all of their fun vegan things. So I know that when we're staying at my boyfriend's parents' house, we're gonna be going to the supermarket, and obviously I can't read Polish. Sometimes it's easy to read the labels and stuff. A lot of the words, especially like vegetables and stuff, are pretty similar, so you can kind of tell obviously what it is. And there's also a picture of the food on most packages. On the occasion that I can't read the package or something, I like to know like vegan brands in certain countries. So I actually looked up the name of the supermarket in Poland that I knew the name of because from the last time that we went, and I started looking that up, and little do I know, there's a bunch of accounts. This one that I follow, it's like accidentally vegan. So I like doing that because obviously in the US, I know that Oreos are accidentally vegan, but I don't know these brands in other countries, and I don't know what's accidentally vegan, and I can't sit there and read all the ingredients list. So I'll insert a picture, but there's certain things and fun snacks that are accidentally vegan that I just want to check out. So when it's time to go to the supermarket, I have a list of like name brands and stuff like that to look out for so that I can try out the food. I usually try to stay away from the extreme touristy things, but obviously some cities are known for amazing things and it's important to go check them out. So I do a quick Google search on like must-sees in whatever city that we're going to, and I'll write those down, I'll add them to my map. And another tip is to type into Google events on the specific days that you're going. I find that this is really helpful because sometimes a lot of local events will pop up. So sometimes there'll be like a festival or like a wine tasting. I even like to look up music events. So sometimes there's gonna be like a concert or like a music festival or something that we'd wanna check out, or like a specific DJ or something that's on, and it'll perfectly align with the days that you're there. And it's also really fun to do more local things in the places that you're visiting. One time when we were in Ibiza, Spain, we went on Airbnb and we actually booked out a boat, and it was such a fun day. We got taken around on a boat in the water, and there was food and drinks, and it was really fun. So highly recommend looking at the Airbnb events. And then circling back to my maps feature, what I'll do, kind of like how I do it with restaurants, start looking at the general area of our hotel, and I'll type in specific stores that I want to go to. So personally, I love jewelry, so I'll usually type in like jewelry boutique, and I'll look it up, see if there's pictures, and then I'll head over to Instagram, see if they have an Instagram, see if I like their stuff, and then I'll add it to my list. And then also, depending on where we're going, there's a lot of European stores that I always like to go to, like Bershka, Stradivarius, Pull&Bear, stuff like that. So I'll just see where those stores are and kind of like map it out so that I can plan around what we're doing for the day. Another thing that I like to do is look up YouTube videos on the specific area that we're going. So a few hours ago, I looked up things to do in Warsaw, Warsaw vegan, like any title of something that's of interest to me for when I'm going. or where I'm going. I always like to look it up on YouTube because there's so many videos and so many cool things that you can find out about places that you wouldn't know just from Googling something. And I'm also a part of a bunch of like travel and vegan groups on Facebook. So I'll like to post on there if anyone has any personal recommendations of restaurants that I should check out or things to do that you wouldn't normally think about or know. I always really like to get other people's opinion on things. So that's pretty much it. That's how I usually plan my trips. And the days before I'm going on a trip, I'm like staying up late, scrolling through Instagram, looking through all the hashtags and saving so many things. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and I hope you enjoy wherever you're planning on going, and thank you so much for watching.